Let's be honest with ourselves for a second. We all have this secret, burning desire to build a legacy, don't we? We want to leave a mark on this world that sticks around long after we're gone. But here is the harsh reality we hate to admit. The trajectory of our lives, whether we eventually soar or crash and burn, is defined almost entirely by our microscopic, boring, daily choices. High achievers across the globe, from athletes to CEOs, agree on one fundamental truth: success is never an accident. It is simply the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, especially when you don't feel like it. We often hallucinate about the big break, that one viral moment or lottery ticket, yet we neglect the tiny tasks required to actually get there. We tell ourselves lies like, "I'll start fresh on Monday," or "I'm just not feeling motivated right now." These phrases, they are the silent killers of potential. Today, I want to tell you a story about a young man who wanted the world, but couldn't even conquer his own calendar. He thought life worked like a slot machine, random and sudden. But reality is not a highlight reel. So stick with me until the very final second of this video, because the blueprint we're about to break down might just be the shift you've been missing. Let's talk about Leo. Now, living in a bustling city, Leo was a pretty standard guy. He wasn't unintelligent. In fact, he had plenty of raw potential. But he suffered from a painful gap between his taste and his talent. He desperately wanted to be a respected creator. However, he had a fatal flaw: a complete, total lack of consistency. You know the type? Maybe you are the type. Leo had a graveyard of half-started projects and gym memberships he paid for but never used. Despite his grand visions, Leo couldn't string together 3 days of focused work to save his life. He was addicted to the planning phase, buying the notebooks, downloading the apps, but he was allergic to the actual execution. He would tell his friends with total conviction, "I'm going to change everything tomorrow." But tomorrow was always a moving target. His mentors tried to tell him that discipline is a muscle that needs training, but Leo ignored them. He was convinced that successful people were born with some magic spark that he lacked. And since he didn't have it, there was no point in trying too hard. Then came the turning point. One afternoon, Leo sat on a park bench, head in his hands, next to an elderly stonemason. The mason saw Leo's frustration with a sketch he was struggling with and asked a strange question. "Young man, do you know how the Grand Canyon was formed?" Leo, confused, just shook his head. The mason smiled, eyes wrinkling at the corners, and said, "It wasn't formed by a giant hammer striking the earth once. It was formed by water, soft, persistent water, cutting through solid rock over millions of years." He leaned in closer. "Let me tell you about the Stonecutter's Credo. A stonecutter may strike a rock 99 times without as much as a crack showing on the surface. To the outside world, he is wasting his time. Yet, at the 100th strike, the rock will split in two. Now, was it the 100th blow that did it? No, it was all the 99 that had gone before. You are looking for the 100th blow, Leo, without swinging the hammer the first 99 times. You are waiting for the result without respecting the process." Leo sat in silence. It hit him hard. He realized he had been obsessed with the harvest while refusing to plant the seeds. He looked at the mason, desperate now, and asked, "But where do I even begin? The mountain seems too high." The mason replied, "You don't climb the mountain. You just focus on the next step. Here are the habits that sharpen the hammer." And right there, the mason broke down 7 principles to transform chaos into order. First, win the morning. The Mason was firm on this. Stop hitting the snooze button. Seriously, when you wake up just 60 minutes earlier, you reclaim control. That is not just time, it is a psychological victory. If you start the day with a win, the rest of the day follows suit. Use that hour for you, before the world starts demanding your attention with emails and requests. Leo realized he had been starting every day in a rush, constantly reacting rather than creating. Second, the 15-minute rule. You don't need to read a book a day, the Mason said. That's intimidating. Just commit to reading or learning for 15 minutes. In 1 year, that accumulates to nearly 100 hours of specialized knowledge. That puts you ahead of 95% of your competition, who are just scrolling social media. Leo loved ideas, but hated the pressure of finishing big books, so he decided to focus on just 15 minutes of focused learning. That he could handle. Third, use micro-quotas. This is about lowering the bar. Don't aim to write a novel, the Mason advised. Aim to write 1 paragraph. Don't aim to run a marathon, aim to simply put on your running shoes. By lowering the barrier to entry, you make it impossible to fail. Consistency matters infinitely more than intensity. Leo decided to stop dreaming of the finish line and just focus on the daily quota. Fourth, the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to do it immediately. Never put it on a to-do list. Washing a dish, sending an email, filing a paper. Clearing these mental cobwebs instantly reduces anxiety. Leo realized his stress came from hundreds of tiny, unfinished tasks clogging up his brain. He applied this immediately. Fifth, journal your wins. The brain is like Velcro for negativity and Teflon for positivity, the Mason explained. To change this, write down 3 wins or things you are grateful for every night. It rewires your brain to scan the world for opportunities rather than problems. Leo felt silly doing it at first. It felt a bit too easy, but soon noticed he was becoming more optimistic and resilient. Sixth, move your body daily. You don't need a gym or a fancy trainer, just move. A brisk 20-minute walk clears cortisol, the stress hormone, from your system. A stagnant body leads to a stagnant mind. Leo realized his lethargy came from sitting still, not from a lack of sleep. And finally, number 7, create digital friction. Your phone is a slot machine designed to steal your attention, the Mason warned. Turn off non-essential notifications. Put the phone in another room when you work. Ask yourself, am I consuming content or creating value? Leo saw that he was losing hours to mindless scrolling and established a phone-free zone for deep work. Here is what happened next. For the next 6 months, Leo ruthlessly applied these micro-habits. At first, it felt like nothing was happening, just like the stonecutter hitting the rock with no cracks appearing. But slowly, the compound effect took hold. His clarity returned. His projects began to finish themselves. His confidence wasn't fake anymore. It was built on a stack of daily proof. Years later, Leo stood as a respected leader in his field. When aspiring creators asked him for the magic pill to success, he would simply say, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. Do not wait for the lightning strike. Pick up your hammer and hit the rock today." Your breakthrough is inevitable if you do not quit. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these small habits will you commit to starting today? Let us know in the comments below. If you found value in this story, please like and subscribe to help us share this message. I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay consistent.